Hello and welcome to Thinking Like a Geographer, an AP Human Geography test review. My name is Brian C. and I will be your facilitator for the next several weeks as we look at some strategies and some practice items from the AP Human Geography test. So let's get started real quickly. Let me start by introducing myself. Like I said, my name is Brian, and I am here to work with you today. Just a little bit about my background. I've been teaching world history and world geography and AP Human Geography for about 12 years in Plano ISD, which is a suburb of Dallas. During that time period, I've been a writer for ETS, an item writer. That's the company that actually creates the test. I also have been an exam reader, essay grader for the College Board. I am currently a facilitator at a project-based learning school in Plano called the Academy. And my educational experience is a bachelor's degree in history from Texas Tech University, a master's degree in political science from the University of Texas at Arlington, and I'm currently working on my Ed.D. my educational doctorate at the Northeastern University in Boston. So I bring a lot of knowledge and experience to this. One of the things that I want to stress before we move forward is that this is not a real heavy content review. The assumptions of this review is that you are taking a course or are finding the content outside of this review so that we can focus on those strategies, those techniques, and some habits to develop in order to be a good test taker, especially given the AP format. Okay. All right, so let's look at our course objectives. So the learner will acquire basic knowledge of AP Human Geography test format and structure. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit today and a little bit over the next few weeks, especially looking at through our intro series of videos. We'll have a lot about the format of the test and what you need to do to do well on it. Okay. Learner will apply prior learning to contexts that are intended to simulate the context of the actual AP Human Geography test. So once again, you're bringing prior knowledge or prior learning to the table. This is not a content review in that we are assuming that you know the content ahead of time. The learner will demonstrate knowledge of the basic learning processes and apply these processes to the text context. So we're not just going to look at what works for an AP test, but how do we understand and learn about learning? How do we understand how our brains work and what the test is asking us to do with those different learning functions and cognitive functions and how they apply to the test? We're also going to talk a lot about structure and format, and we're going to practice and repetitively work on some skills that will help you do better on the test. Okay, so what are the expectations of you as a learner? What do you bring to the table, and what can you do to help make this process work better? You need to review the unit content prior to the weekly presentation. So whatever the topic for that week is, you need to have gone over that and studied that and reviewed that so that you will be ready to practice some writing practice, and some multiple choice practice as well. You need to be engaged and actively participate in learning activities. So, in an online setting, one of the benefits to that is that we have a large pool of participants, but everyone needs to be involved. So, if you're not involved, you're really not going to get much out of this review because it assumes that you are participating, that you are part of what we are doing, and not just along for the ride. You're going to be working collaboratively and you're going to be giving and receiving feedback in a timely, constructive manner. I am not going to be grading or reviewing or giving you feedback on your writing or your preparation, but your peers will be. So it's important that you are willing to be collaborative, willing to work together on those things, so that we can work together in order to improve. None of us are perfect. It's always about growth. It's always about getting better, and we're going to help each other do that. Here are some resources if you don't already have these. One is the AP course description, and there's a picture of the front cover of it. There's going to be a water cooler set up where you can kind of ask questions, and other students can log in and respond to those questions and ask others, and kind of have a dialogue there. Um, Also, your textbook and any review book that you might have will be helpful in preparing for the weekly presentations. And there at the bottom, I have a link to the AP College Board site, as well as an important link to some vocabulary. So if you feel like you're a little lacking in vocabulary from your course study, that's a good place to get caught up on that. Okay. So that wraps up our introductory lesson, and we'll have a couple more intro videos before we get into the actual content lessons. And so be looking for those and reviewing those as they appear. All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.